This is Gee Whiz here. So I'm over here doing a compression testing kit with the Lex compression tester kit, OTC. This is an $80 kit on Amazon. But for the most part, I think that it probably wasn't worth the $80 simply because I've seen cheaper models that will probably work the same. This is really just a basic compression testing kit. The reviews were excellent, but anyone can pay for reviews, let's face it. So testing compression is easier than you might think. You take off the spark plugs, if you know how to do spark plugs. With this, I guess I'll show you how to change spark plugs real quick. For a Corolla 2001, I'm using a 5/8 or 16 millimeter socket wrench. You want it to be the extension version on your torque wrench and not something, you know, out of a Harbor Freight bit kit. Oh, say something like this. This will not get off your spark plugs. The spark plugs are just too long. You have to be able to take off something with this much space. You're going to be using a 14 millimeter to put in your spark plug socket. The 14 millimeter screws in just like the spark plugs would. You can hand tighten this and it will be enough. Once it's hand tightened, you take your compression test, slide this back, push down, and then push forward. I'm trying to do this with one hand. Come on, special. There we go. I had to use two hands. Maybe with a little more practice I could do it with one, holding this camera. So as you can see, I have it pressed against the glass so that I can get a reading. We're going to go ahead and fire it up. Cylinder 3. So normally when I first start the car, I get 90 psi and it stops. But generally, to test compression, you have to keep putting on the gas until that little dial stops moving, then stop and check where it's at. Note that all of them on startup are around 90 psi. This is at 180. I've seen other mechanics take a little bit of oil and they put it in the top of the spark plug system. I'm going to go ahead and do that to see if this actually works in order to increase compression or not. Since we were at about 12.5, I'd say, in this cylinder, and it was the lowest out of all the other cylinders, I think this test is probably worth doing. Yes, got it with one hand. Okay, so on startup, it's probably gonna do the same thing. $90 and then dies. You can see that it starts at 90 real quick. Now, increase a little more. So that's about when we're going to stop it. Now, did it increase my compression, adding a little bit of oil? Well, it went from 12 to 13, so I guess it did a little bit. So Compression's only at 13 with the third cylinder. Even with oil, it's about 12.5. I'm going to call that 12.5. But I don't even think we used enough oil, to be honest. Squeeze that. Don't just go ripping it off unless you want a nice loud pop. But I don't think it's really going to hurt if you did it either way. Add a little bit of oil to the compression on cylinder 4. See what happens. Boop. We're just going to put that cap right back on. And let's screw this back in. Hopefully this doesn't ruin my engine. And let's go. That is significantly higher. About 15.5. Wow. So, what does that tell you? As you can see here, I'm actually getting some white smoke that's coming because I put oil inside of the cylinders. So when they say, oh yeah, you know, you got white smoke coming out of your tailpipe, I wonder why. Just know, this is burning oil that you're looking at. This exhaust smell, yeah, that's oil. People saying that 99.9% of the time white smoke is a head gasket is false. It is usually just oil getting inside of the pistons. It could be bad piston rings or it could be a coolant leak, but you have to determine that when you look at the engine. And for those of you who are looking to get the full kit, such as the cylinder leakage test kit, just know you can't do any of these type of tests without also having an air compressor, at least of some sort. I don't even like that air compressor model, so personally the only testing I'm going to be doing is the compression test. And the OTC, in my opinion, overall is a little pricey. I can get one arbitrary for $20. Regardless if people say not to get it, it's just a pressure gauge. I'm sure it can be just as effective as the OTC. But I hope you like this video. Like and subscribe. I make videos quite often. I'm going to be rebuilding this whole engine myself. I'm not just going to hire a mechanic to do it. I have to do it myself. So, you know, follow around and stay tuned. I got a lot more other videos that I want to be making.